I'm Ryan Milliken from Hardway Performance, and you're listening to the Diesel Power Podcast.
I'm Demetri Miller with No Zone Diesel.
This is Anthony Reams from XDP.
Jaron Holder from Holderdown Performance.
I'm Corey Willis with PPEI.
I'm Drew with D&J Precision Machine.
I'm Pinky.
And you're listening to the Diesel Power Podcast.
Diesel Power Podcast.
And you're listening to the Diesel Power Podcast.
The one and only Diesel Power Podcast.
I want to welcome White Knuckles Garage back on the Diesel Power Podcast. We've got Steve and John from the shop, and they're going to talk to us today about a really cool build that they've started. Welcome, guys, back on the podcast.
Good to be here. Always a pleasure.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. Awesome. Glad to have you on. I've been seeing some pictures on social media of a Cummins build, and it's looking pretty cool. Wanted to ask you guys what you guys got planned for it and what you've done to it so far.
Well, John that works here, he decided that it was going to be in his best interest to spend an exorbitant amount of money on a truck, and the timing just so happened to work out that, you know, as we do every year, we go up to ATS, but the timing just so happened to work out that it's going to actually be done like this week. So we'll probably have not a whole lot of drive time. It'll be like one of those rush things that we always do, but John will probably tell us a little more about it. He's a little more vested in that truck than I think anybody. So,
what your truck is it, John?
It's an 03 Dodge, Cummins truck, obviously. Pulled it along good. Got a 6.4 D&J engine.
Nice.
Found a super good deal on it. Truth be told, it's actually Levon's original engine. Got a set of twin turbo 72 over an 85 from stainless, and with that engine moving as much air as it does is daylight and ice. Got a set of industrial 300% over injectors, 10 mil CP3 over stock LGZ pump, ATS feeler kit, ATS intake horn, in-house built trans by Steve, and it's just amazing.
you think he's trying to get a raise right now?
Truth be told, there's not a whole lot of money in the trans. I bought the truck and it was already built already, and we opened it up and found a bunch of billet parts, billet shafts all the way throughout. So I pretty much bought a small gold mine for a real cheap investment. I think I'm only $5,500 into the whole truck. It's really been a dream to chase, I guess.
Oh yeah, I mean with the motor, and you guys got plenty of fuel and with a tranny behind it, and
yeah, you probably ought to clarify. There's gonna be a whole lot more than $5,500 by the time he's done. But
oh yeah, definitely.
you got the truck on a wholesale deal for $5,500, and we threw it up on the dyno. It had an early Model 2G swap on this thing, and just a single pump. We didn't know what injector was in it, but it ran decent. We put it up on the dyno, and it laid down like 600 plus at the tire on a dyno tech, a real tight dyno. And we're like, oh, what the heck? We got something here. But then it started dropping rail like crazy. We couldn't maintain rail, and he put a set of 200% in it. It took just about every portion of the head gasket out it could. And then that's where he decided to just do all of this. So from blown head gasket to this, I'm not sure how that transpired or what road we decided to go down, but you know, John's been known for stranger things, so.
That's kind of how it starts, though. I mean, and it works out, you know, sometimes when something like that happens, and you can just upgrade so much, you know, while you're in there.
It was like perfect timing. I just got engaged and everything, so right now is the time to do it before kids are on the way and you have other huge payments and other things, and just right now is the time to do it in my book. So the girlfriend was all about it, or fiance, whatever you want to say about it. She's happier than I think I am about it, honestly.
Yeah, he picked a good partner, but yeah, honestly, Patrick, I think it was maybe a month and a half ago. He said, hey, I'm thinking about picking up this engine. I don't even know if it was even that or if it was longer. I mean, our world's kind of been upside down here. But so I think about picking up this engine, and we took a look at it. I'm like, yeah, it's a real good deal if you can get it, So he went over and he actually picked the thing up at Firepunk from the kid that had bought it, I guess, from Luan, and picked it up. And so, what do you think we should do with turbos? And so, obviously, we use a lot of Johnny stuff. We obviously called them and we put this thing on the dyno. Had enough problems with it this weekend to really just kind of like ugh. It was just kind of a rough day, but the results were pretty good. The turbos it's an S472 over an S485. 1.0 AR on the manifold charger, and I think it's 132. Actually, yeah, it's a 132 on the atmosphere. This engine has done quite a bit more horsepower than we saw out of it, but I think he was running S400, S500 combo to it. A little bit different injector. So the amount of people that have actually, I guess truly, the amount of people that have helped with this has been phenomenal. Dustin at Industrial has been awesome. And it's always the same thing with us. Hey, we got this crazy idea. We need them yesterday. And everybody's always played really good ball with that. You know what I mean? So we had Johnny and Trevor do the piping kit up in purple, and they picked some like purple at the powder coat place off of this like Yeti cup that some girl who worked there had her Yeti cup done in this purple. And we told them, just try and pick some purple, because we're going to roll with purple and orange and stuff on this thing. And it's almost like cat's meow compared to the ATS stuff. Like, it literally is almost a dead match. So I don't even know how we've got that figured out, but it's been fun.
See, now you're going to get calls about how to match that.
Absolutely. That's exactly what's going to happen, and I sure hope they kept the record of it, because we didn't.
As far as like what your goals are, with the John, what are you shooting for? What do you want it to attain? Say for power, or if you're going to race it, what kind of times you're looking for out of it?
I just basically want I guess you could call a street beast, weekend warrior. I'd really like to maybe hook it to a sled a time or two and see what she'll do, and obviously take it down the drag strip a few times. And basically, I'm going to try and daily drive the truck and just have an all-around powerhouse, I guess you could say.
Then that's really what a lot of guys want. You want as much power as you can get and still drive it on the street. So that's cool that's what you're building it for, and what you're trying to achieve with it.
Yeah, when we initially looked at what type of chargers we were going to run on this thing, I think that's kind of why we decided to stay with dual S400s. He should be able to tow with it. We put the right tuning in the truck. He'll be able to tow, be able to daily drive. I mean, right now the truck drives phenomenal on a very light millisecond tune that's going to lay down well over 1100 at the tire, and it just drives so phenomenal. We just haven't had any time to check miles per gallon or any of that stuff. I fully intend to tow with it here pretty quick. I don't know if John's going to be real happy with me, but I really want to hook this thing to a trailer and see how it'll tow and how it responds, and I'm sure it'll do just fine. But the readings in between would be very interesting to see.
Yeah, that'll be cool. That's I think probably the ultimate test for him is, as you guys know, you can drive big chargers, on the street, but get some weight behind it. How responsive is it, and what kind of economy do you get and everything.
Yeah, the thing when we first put it on the dyno, we were basically warming it up, double checking everything, just kind of bringing the load in and stressing the chargers a little bit just to kind of warm it up, and not really doing any pulls, but just kind of getting some heat in it and everything, and double checking for leaks, and it's amazing how well they come in. It's super awesome.
As far as the suspension, are you guys going to keep that stock, or maybe do some upgrades on it?
Right now it's lifted. I want to say like 4 or 6 inch. I'm going to take the lift kit out of it probably sometime this summer, this spring. I don't know when yet, but set it back down on the ground. I may do a 2-inch drop in the rear just to get her sitting level. But yeah, right now the suspension is kind of on the back burner, I guess you could say, due to everything under hood is my main focus, or our main focus. Steve and Joe over here at the shop are just been amazing here every weekend. I don't think anybody's seen their family for more spend a few hours a day at home. They're here on the weekends with me and everything. It's been a blast. I mean, I think if everybody's had as much fun with this whole project as I have, it's going to be something, that's for sure.
It's been like the one shop rule, Patrick, is like the truck doesn't come in until after 7 p.m. or on the weekends, because I know like once you drag something like that in the door, you don't want to stop.
No.
You know, so like when we agreed to like sit down and just okay, let's put our heads to it and do this, it was like okay, 7 p.m. or after or on the weekends.
You get to look at it all day and want to go work on it, but you got to wait till the end of the day.
After we got it kind of dialed in this weekend and figured a few things out, we had some equipment problems over with dyno and stuff, so the day got kind of cut short, you know. And John, I told him Monday night or Sunday night, I said, "No, take it home, you know, show the girlfriend, show the fiance, show her, you know, take mom and dad for a ride or whatever you're gonna do, and then just get it out of your system." And he comes back yesterday morning and he took her for a ride. I said, what'd she say? You know, how'd she like it? Oh, after all, she was real enthused. And I said, well, now comes the hardest part. He goes, what's that? I said, leave the keys on the counter and don't drive it again until we leave, because you're going to break something. You're going to get out feeling spunky, and here goes nothing. Probably 2 days before we leave or something, too, you know, knowing us. So.
Oh, yeah, Murphy's Law, right?
It always works that way. It never fails.
You guys going to bring it up?
That's the true test for a lot of these events and these things you go to. I mean, you know, it's obviously on a whole other level for like TPC and stuff, but, you know, putting something together like this and making it all work on a short time base and then hoping that you just don't, I don't want to say it, you know, have bad luck, you know, a day before you leave, you know. So that's the hardest part.
Yeah, and it's a good thing that you brought up, you know, as far as like the time after hours. And you know, we've been talking to a lot of the UCC guys, and one of the questions, you know, just popped in my head is, what is it like to do a build, and it's, you know, you have a day job, you have a business to run, you have a family life, and then you throw in this build with it. Have you guys found that it's hard to kind of balance the time or the off time, you know, the downtime to just kind of
I mean, you know, John sits there and says, Joe and Steve have been great. I realistically think we're about ready to kill each other, the three of us. You know, it's like between, like, who's buying pizza this time and who's buying dinner, and then it's like a one big, you know, three big happy married feuds or something, you know, because we're just living here at this point. But it does make it rough. You know, I think everybody, John, myself, and Joe, everybody's got the support they need at home to really make that happen. It's so key. You know, and it's to a whole other level than that. It's on an unexplainable level as far as that goes. But, you know, if I can only imagine that the bigger guys doing UCC, how much busier they are than we actually are. You know, and it would take, you know, I've been to some of these shops that are twice the size of what we have. It's not like we have a monster. We've got your average building, and you can fit 5 trucks in it, you know what I mean, comfortably. And you're moving 2 or 3 trucks out to get 1 truck in to that level and that caliber to get yourself enough space to do it. And so it's more than just, you know, okay, let's just pull it in real quick and do this, that, or the other. It's like stage everything, get everything set up, grab all these parts from here. I mean, it's just unbelievable. You get into tube chassis work and stuff like this that some of these other guys are doing, I wouldn't even begin to imagine what our time base would have been like on this side.
I think for customers, though, like, you know, a guy brings his truck to you and, you know, he sees this 03 you're building and he's got one and says, I want the same thing. You probably have to kind of fight the same thing where, you know, everyone's excited for more power and doing more, you know, with their truck, and, you know, the customer wants it done quickly, but you guys have to take your time and dot the I's and cross the T's and, you know, test and verify and make sure everything works. Is that something that's a, you know, a challenge, say, on a daily or weekly basis with some of the builds? And
more so than most. And this time of year, too, you get just an absolute massive amount of price inquiries. You know, tax checks are coming in, stuff like that. So you're bombarded by the work you already have. You're bombarded by the possible new work or existing customer work. You're bombarded by all of it. And getting all that to work, you know, that's probably the toughest part, trying to organize it all. It really is. You know, 2 years ago, I ended up having to take some time off for family reasons, and John really he'd seen me kind of disappear more and more in the office as we started to get bigger, and it was like one of those things where, he spent probably a good week up there trying to juggle both, doing some wrenching and doing that, and a week later he just decided, I just don't know how you do this. I said, I'm glad you respect me more now.
Yeah, that's no fun, trying to run in both ends. That's a challenge in itself.
Definitely. What, you guys going to bring this out to the ATS Dyno Day here? Gosh, it's coming up on us like Saturday, March 4th.
March 4th, yeah. We're going to go up there for the recertification training, take the truck, we'll put it in the Gauntlet Challenge down there. I don't know if it's going to have what it needs to win. We just haven't had very much time to test too much with it. Honestly, it's a decently simple setup, and we've used them before plenty of times, but this one, it went from almost just about a bare chassis 3 weeks ago. I think we've had about 8 full days to work on the truck. If you put our time base into where we're at now, we've had about 8 days. Broke carrier bearing in 2 pieces on the dyno Saturday, and there's a 1-piece shaft. Another shop we deal with over in Pennsylvania, Robert over at Pierce's Diesel Doctor, he's going to go ahead and bring it out, and it was rumored he might just bring his dyno with him, so we might have a little more time to test on this thing before we go. And I'm going to bring the white Duramax again. She's pretty well hurt at this point. It needs a head gasket and probably a couple pistons at this point, but it's still running, so we'll bring it and have some fun with it too, I'm sure. Probably put it on the outside dyno or something, spray it, and hopefully she'll do some good numbers too.
Nice. I'm going to have to get a ride in these trucks when you guys are out here.
I don't know if you want John to give you a ride. If you ever remember over at Stainless, call him sometime and ask him what he thinks about John's driving in this truck. We took it out. There's no traction bars, nothing on it, and it's a wild ride. It's a fast truck. And as soon as we got back from the test drive, I looked at John and said, "You better cage it or it's going to kill you."
Okay. I imagine, just that kind of power and, they're fun. That's what hooks us all is just that torque and how it comes on, and it's almost how instant you can have it.
The injectors that are in it on probably like a 2250 millisecond file have the capability to do, I think, 17 to 1800 horsepower is what Dustin was telling me. The turbos that are on it are right in that 1300 to 1600 horse window. Question is, will we have it tuned in enough at that time to do those kind of numbers? I think we'll be a solid 12 to 1300 wheel horse at ATS, but it's Denver. Denver's always different. In Denver, you either put up or shut up, because it's no matter what we do down here. I was on probably 20 different chassis dynos last year, and between Kentucky, one dyno in Kentucky, and Denver, those were always the worst places.
Hardest places to make. Well, especially the elevation here. It's just, you can make tons of power. It's just, it's a little bit different. How the guys do it, and the practice they have from just being at elevation. But yeah, I'm sure it'll perform great up here. I can't wait to see it.
This will be the first time we've really had the option to use a D&J type head. John told you it's 6.4, but it's a non-deck plate, and I honestly don't know what head it is. I know it's a higher flowing CFM head, and the way it drives, it just moves a whole lot of air, with these chargers and this fueling on it. And it'll be interesting. I'm dying to try it. I'm really dying to see how it responds, and how much we can push the tuning on this thing to see where it goes. He's going to be, with the pumps he's got on it, he's going to be right there. You do the math and the calcs on it, a stock LBZ pump and a 10 mil. Honestly, he's right there at where it's going to be falling on its face pretty quick if we put enough, fuel through the injector. So we'll see how it goes.
Are you guys putting up pictures and updates and stuff on the White Knuckles Garage Facebook page?
Yeah, we've been trying, man. It's been rough here lately. We were going to do live feed Saturday. We were going to do all this stuff, and we just didn't get near in with that as much as we wanted to. There's been some stuff on Instagram about it. There's been some stuff on Facebook, and John kind of decided he's this strapping young buck, and I was just the old part that needed to get out of his way. So we're that's the ongoing shop joke right now. He's like, "Hey Pops, what are you doing? Get out of the way." So
yeah, he just rolled it. When I told him I found an engine I might buy, he's like, he was in disbelief.
You're getting married. You sure you want to do this? Yep, I sure do. Well, sure money.
Awesome, man. Well, I can't wait to see you guys. It's been about a year, and be able to hang out and check out the truck and see what you guys do. You always bring really cool stuff to this event, so I'll be looking forward to it here in the next week or two.
Sounds good.
Yep, sounds great.
Awesome, guys.